I want to address this question that I see getting asked or getting talked about online, and that is, if software as a service is getting so easy to create as it is, AI has made it so easy, anybody can build software as a service now. Building the business, marketing, sales, that's the hard bit. It continues to be the hard bit. It's the bit I enjoy the most, but creating the software is actually easy. But if it's so easy to create software now, then why won't everyone just create software? Surely the SaaS business will go to zero. And here's the realistic answer to this, because it's a very fair question, right? So for most people, they focus on whatever it is that they're doing. That might be a business that they run. So let's say you have an e-commerce business. You focus on that e-commerce business. That's your bread and butter. That's what you do. That's what you focus on. It's what you're good at. That's what you do. It's how you make your money, your e-commerce business. Now, let's say to do that e-commerce business, there's 5 tools you have, SaaS tools, that actually make your life easier, better, faster, more profitable, save you time, save you money, save you drudgery, monotony, save you from the BS. Like, they help you. You've got 5 tools, right? This one's $20 a month, this one's $30 a month, this one's $99 a month, this one's $12 a month, and this one's $250 a month, whatever, right? So you've got this software stack. But that software stack helps you make 10K a month in your business, right? It's a worthwhile investment. Now, you might look at that and go, well, if I, as an e-commerce business owner, if I essentially cloned those software tools, those 5 tools, then I could create them and save whatever that was, $350 a month, just made up example. I could create them and save $350 a month. Okay, fair point. And you could even make them a little bit better, a little bit more customized, right? Because you're only saving money with that, one, it's going to take your eye off your core focus, which is your e-commerce business, which any good business owner will know. The more plates you're spinning, the more ideas you're pursuing, the less focus each of them get, and usually the less money you make. It's way better to focus on one thing than it is to focus on 5 different things. So you've gone from just focusing on your core e-commerce business to focusing on building an app that replaces 5 apps, or building 5 apps that replace 5 apps to save $350 a month. And whilst you do that and learn how to do that, maybe it takes you 3 months to clone that, and you get to the end of it, it's like, wow, this is great. You've now got to maintain that, right? So there's going to be things that those apps do that do require some level of maintenance. Maybe they do some web scraping, so they scrape some data off some website, and maybe that website changes on a regular basis because, like Amazon don't want you scraping their website. So they'll use anti-scraping technology, and it's a little bit like cops and robbers or cat and mouse. They realize people are scraping their data. They change the website to break your scraper. So there's some level of maintenance to go on to continue to be able to scrape it. And even if you automate the scraping and create some bot that automates the scraping and fixes itself and like some self-fixing thing, well, they'll know that's happening and they'll release their own bot to unfix it. Do you know what I mean? So there is some level of maintenance to creating your own software apps. It might be this thing broke, or this thing didn't quite do what you wanted it to do, and you didn't know it wasn't doing it right until you ran into a problem and you're essentially having to bug fix your software. Now, if you're a SaaS founder and your product is SaaS, then you're incentivized to fix those bugs and find those bugs and respond very quickly, because that's your business. So, but if you're an e-commerce seller or whatever else you do, that's your core focus is not finding and fixing bugs in the SaaS. You're only saving $350 a month from cancelling those 5 subscriptions. You're only saving $350, not making any money from it, right? Now, if you then say, I'm going to sell that to other people, now that's a different proposition, but again, you're taking your eye off the ball. You're choosing to go 100% focus on your e-commerce business, which is your bread and butter, making all your money, to dividing your focus into trying to save yourself $350 a month. And then maybe you decide to try and market this business. Now, trust me, you've just taken your eye off the ball of the thing that you was presumably doing successfully, and you've focused on this thing that you're now having to spend a lot of time and effort on to keep it right and keep it working all right. I'm not lying. I know that touchy nose can mean lying. I'm totally aware of that. I understand body language. I've read Body Language by Alan Peace a very long time ago. I understand that. I've just got an itchy nose, okay? I'm not trying to say, somebody watching that understands body language, but I always lying about how difficult it is to maintain an app. Look, it's easy. It's really easy with AI. It is. I wasn't lying about it. But if your sole focus right now is an e-commerce business, taking your eye off that to find bugs and fix bugs for a single person to save $350 doesn't make much sense financially, right? Because you could probably make a lot more money focusing and scaling your e-commerce business than you could in just trying to save yourself $350. And this is probably an extreme example. Most people probably aren't spending $350 a month on tools. It probably might be $50 or $100 a month. Well, you're going to put all that time and effort and divide your focus to save yourself $50 or $100 a month. If you're going to build it as a business, as a SaaS business, and get more clients, then yeah, all right, maybe it makes sense to do that. But if it's just to save you money, there's no point doing it. So this comes back to the first question: why don't all business owners just replace their tech stack and build their own software? Because once they've built it, they've got to assign a team member to maintain that software, or they've got to redirect their focus onto maintaining that software. So pay $20 for them to just give you software that works, and they fix the bugs, they keep it online, they update it and keep it secure. Or to save $20, you as a business owner are going to replace that $20 subscription yourself to save $20. Businesses aren't going to do that. Now, I'm not saying there isn't going to be a time in the distant future, presumably, whereby cloning an app perfectly is just a single prompt. It might be just to put that domain name into AI, saying, I want you to clone this tool exactly. I'm not saying that day won't come, but that day's not here yet, and I can't see that day coming in the immediate future. So in the meantime, between now and Skynet and things going crazy, the singularity, in the meantime, you can make a fortune developing your own SaaS. And actually, as fearful as you are that every company can develop their own SaaS, so why would they pay you your money? Hopefully that answers your question today. Hopefully you go, oh, that's it, I get it. Because they save $29 a month by cloning my software. And actually, it's, what do they call it, fool's gold? It's actually not an appropriate use of their time or attention. There's an opportunity cost to everything, and they're going to spend time saving themselves $29 a month and then have to assign a team member to maintain it or maintain it themselves. It doesn't make any sense for most people. It doesn't make any sense. So think that through. So we're not talking when Skynet's here. We're talking for the next few years, presumably. Like, there's a period of time where you can disrupt this guy with the $29 a month SaaS subscription, because you can come create it with AI. They've got a 5-man dev team, sales team, project manager, whatever, and a founder to pay. They've got a 5-man team. They need to make $250K a year just to break even. Whereas you, as a single person founder, they're charging $29 a month. You could charge $19 a month. You're $10 a month cheaper. You can clone their core feature set and you can compete with them, but you don't have their $250K a year expenses. You're a single person founder that can create it in your spare time as like a hobby business that can scale it up into a part-time or full-time income that requires very little ongoing effort from you, because it's a recurring revenue business. So it's like, it makes sense for you to disrupt the SaaS. It doesn't make sense for the business owner to replace the SaaS in most cases. Hey, if it's a $5,000 a month software, if I'm a business owner, I'm going to take the time to build it myself, and I'll employ some VA to maintain it for me and teach them the basics, whatever. I get that. But for most people, they're not paying $5,000 a month for some enterprise software. Most people are spending $19, $29, $39, $49, $79, $99, $199 on some software. Those guys, you're going to disrupt. They're not really at massive fear of being like disrupted by business owners creating their own software, because there's some effort involved, like, to maintain it. Hopefully that makes sense. If you're interested in building your own software as a service business, then the best place to get started is my super low entry price, 75% off right now, 21-day challenge. It takes you through the idea generation, so coming up with an idea, planning it, building it with AI, and creating a sales letter with AI. So the whole process of having a product, a software as a service to sell, it walks you through that entire process from start to finish in 21 daily micro tasks via an interactive app. So there's a video on there, there's a daily lesson on there, there's motivation in there, there's an interactive element on there. Like, essentially, it's a very user-friendly, beginner-friendly, non-techie, non-coder. You don't need to know AI. You don't need to know anything. I walk you through the process in my 21-day challenge, 21 daily micro tasks. You get to the end of it and you've got a product to sell. It's fire, in my opinion. It's fire. And it's a great place to get started. 2, if you want to clone your own software that you're using already, well, it will help you do that. If you want to build a software as a service business, well, it's the foundation for it. It's the beginner's starting point. It can take you from zero, don't know what you're doing, don't know what idea to go into, to finished software product, about ready to sell. There's always going to be little bits and bobs you're going to have to fix, but that's the game. And then at that point, you could build a business around it. So check out the link below, challenge.mattwebley.com, and you can get my 21-day challenge. And sorry for making you seasick there. And yeah, magic. So hopefully that answers the question. Won't everybody just clone their own and create their own SaaS? Some will, most won't, because it doesn't make financial sense for 99.9% of people. So SaaS is not going away anytime soon, but you coming in with your AI tools and your single person business, because you can do it on your own, you're going to come and disrupt this 5-person SaaS team, because they've got big expenses, they're entrenched, they're probably stuck in their old ways. You're going to come in and take 1%, 5%, 10%, 20%, 100% of their business, and maybe even become market leader. 10, 20, 50, 100k a month, single person, faceless business, recurring revenue, passive income if you like, with your own SaaS built by AI is absolutely possible. The starting point is the 21-day challenge, link below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.